The Honkai Star Rail version 3.0 update is finally here. It's one of the most highly anticipated updates for most players in the game. And it's no surprise why. Version 3.0 brings a ton of exciting new features, like new planets, puzzles, mechanics, and most importantly, new characters. If you watched the 3.0 livestream, you might have seen that there will be 6 rerun banners, including Jade, Feixiao, Boothill, Robin, Lingsha, and Silver Wolf. That means there will be a total of 8 limited banners in the upcoming patch. Is that exciting? Of course. But with so many banners, it's natural to have questions, especially for new players. So I'm Hoyostation, and let's dive in and talk about the best gacha recommendations for version 3.0. Let's do this. Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough stellar jades? Here's a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Look no further than Lootbar. Lootbar is the most reliable top-up platform. It saves up to 20% for all orders compared with the official channel, and it provides an 80% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy pack for 3,000 stellar jades for $42, which otherwise would have costed $50. Totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in the less than 3 minutes. All recharges will be done through the official channel with miHoyo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount. The first character that will appear in version 3.0 is the HERTA. The HERTA is a character with a DPS role that has an ice type with the erudition path. This character can attack enemies in large numbers, so it will be very suitable for some endgame content, such as pure fiction. The HERTA has some interesting highlighted kits that are her strongest points, like her talent named Hand the Mover. This talent gives 25 stacks of interpretation to the enemy every wave, and each stack increases the damage given to the enemy by 16% to the main target and 8% to nearby targets if we use 2 characters with the erudition path in the team. Using 2 characters with the erudition path will make the damage from her enhanced skills even greater. She also has another interesting kit that I must mention here. It's her technique called a Vibe Checker. This technique is really unique. It has 3 effects. First, it increases the HERTA's attack by 60% for 2 turns. Second, it marks 3 basic treasures that we have not taken on our map. And third, it does something else. If we use this technique in the simulated universe or divergent universe, it will cause true damage equal to 99% of the enemy's HP for enemies with elite levels and below, and 30% of the maximum enemy HP for enemies with elite levels and above. This technique has several functions that really help us complete the content in this game. Then, is the HERTA worth taking in the patch 3.0? According to me personally, the HERTA is very unique character and has a good value to take, especially if you already have several other erudition characters before. We call them Jade and Himeko. These 2 characters are very worthy characters to accompany the HERTA in the future. Of course, you can also pair the HERTA with 4-star HERTA if the enemy has weakness to ice. The combination between these 2 characters cannot be said to be bad either. Besides that, there are rumors that 3B, which are character rumored to appear in version 3.0, will also be a very good support for the HERTA, so we can predict that this character has a pretty good future. What about her signature light cone? The signature light cone named Unto the Unreachable Veil offers a very interesting effect. In addition to providing additional critical rate, this light cone provides additional damage generated through skills and ultimate by 60% when issuing the ultimate. Now, another interesting thing is that when issuing the ultimate, if the ultimate consumes 1 free energy, it will recover 1 skill point. Of course, this light cone is a very good light cone. It has all the bonus effect of the HERTA needs. Moreover, the effect of adding skill points has no cooldown, which means this effect will continue to be active every time the HERTA does ultimate. Of course, yes. But if you don't want to take this light cone, there are still several other light cone options that can be taken, because this light cone for erudition is quite easy to get. For example, such as Eternal Calculus, which you can get through HERTA's shop, or Himeko's Night on the Milky Way, or another free-to-play light cone called Today is Another Peaceful Day, which offers Universal Damage Addition according to the maximum energy the user has. Next, we will talk about another character that will be in version 3.0, AGLAEA. She is an interesting character in the upcoming patch for 2 reasons. First, she is a well-known type called Lightning. Second, she has a new path called the Remembrance Path. She also has a new mechanic, called the Memo Sprites mechanic. AGLAEA can summon some creature and helping AGLAEA in the battle. AGLAEA has a highlighted kit that definitely makes this character very interesting to pick up in the upcoming patch. The first is the ability to be able to summon Memo Sprites named Garment Maker. Garment Maker is AGLAEA's special Memo Sprites that have one very different advantage compared to other characters that have existed, namely a very high amount of speed. Yep, Memo Sprites named Garment Maker have the potential to reach speeds of up to 400 points, which means that when in battle, this Memo Sprite has a very high attack frequency. Another interesting thing owned by AGLAEA is her enhanced basic attack kit, which is named Slash by 1000-Volt Kiss. This enhanced basic attack is a joint attack type attack, which means that this attack will combine AGLAEA's attack and Garment Maker's attack, which means that in this enhanced basic attack there will be 2 attack elements given to the enemy. Then is AGLAEA worth taking in patch 3.0? According to me personally, AGLAEA is a very unique character at this time. She is the first character to have Remembrance Path and the first character to have a Memo Sprite mechanic. If you currently have the best supporting characters for AGLAEA, such as Sunday and Robin, then this character will be even more worth taking. Because indeed, if we examine AGLAEA's kit, this character has very good benefit with these 2 characters. But indeed, one of the disadvantages of AGLAEA is that this character is a character who has the same role as several other Lightning characters. We call it like Acheron and also Jingyuan, which as we know, the 2 characters are DPS characters that are good enough to be used even in any game mode. Well, what about new players? Do new players deserve this character? Well, the answer is of course. Even though you don't currently have Sunday and Robin, if you are a new player in this game and don't have a DPS character with a Lightning type, this character is also good enough to take, because you can replace Sunday with Remembrance Trailblazer, which is also planned to be released in the upcoming patch 3.0. The next character we should talk about is Lingsha. She was just released in version 2.5, and she will finally be included in the upcoming version. Like Feixiao, Lingsha is a character that is currently at the top of the list in almost all endgame modes, such as MOC, Purification, and Apocalyptic Shadow. Lingsha has a very high rating in almost all modes because she is a very flexible character. This means that she can be paired with a wide variety of existing teams. She is not limited to Super Break team, she is also quite compatible with the follow-up attack team and even the Acheron team. One of the highlights of her kit is the ability to summon a cute creature called Fuyuan into the battle. Every time Fuyuan gets a turn and attacks, Fuyuan will heal HP according to Lingsha's attack and will also remove one debuff owned by all allies. Fuyuan can be summoned through Lingsha's skills, and will get advances forward every time Lingsha uses her skills. So it's clear that Fuyuan will attack very often and will routinely provide huge healing to the team. Lingsha's ultimate is also not to be underestimated. This ultimate can provide attacks to enemies, heal all allies, and increase the break damage received by enemies by 25% for 2 turns, and finally, she will give advances forward to Fuyuan by 100%. So, Fuyuan immediately gets a turn after Lingsha issues her ultimate. Well, in addition to her interesting ability that can heal and remove debuffs regularly, the damage produced by Lingsha cannot be underestimated. The break damage produced by Lingsha is very large for the size of a healer. Even she is comparable to some non-meta DPS that currently not widely used by many players in this game. Actually, without taking Lingsha's signature light count, Lingsha can function optimally. This is because we already get Lingsha's free-to-play light count named What Is Real, which is very easy to get through the Forgotten Hole store. But if you want more break effect upgrades and debuffs that can increase damage, then you can get the signature light count. So is Lingsha worth taking? According to me personally, among all banners in the upcoming patch, Lingsha is one of the strongest candidates that I highly recommend taking, because she has a good kit for all layers of players, can be used in all endgame modes, and she can also be used by almost all teams in this game. Next is Feixiao, one of the top tier characters at the moment. This character has a wind type with a hunt path, which means that she specializes in defeating single enemies or enemies that are not many in number. So it's very different from the erudition path, which has a very good performance against a large number of enemies. Although she is not suitable when used against large numbers of enemies, the fact is that in pure fiction mode, she is quite reliable although not the best, thanks to her follow-up attack, which can attack twice during one turn. One of Feixiao's best abilities lies in her ultimate named Terra Split. This ultimate will only activate if Feixiao's flying area stack has touched at least 6 points. This ultimate can deal up to 700% damage to single target enemies and has a very high break efficiency. In addition, this ultimate attack can also ignore the type of enemy, so it can be used for all enemies regardless of type. This ultimate is also very easy to activate if we pair Feixiao with other characters who have sub-DPS roles such as Topaz, Moza, or Hunt March 7th. Since we get Hunt March 7th for free, this is also one of the plus points of Feixiao, which is an easy team to build. Her signature Lightcon named I Venture Forth to Hunt is no less great. This Lightcon can increase the critical rate and can ignore the defense of the target up to 54% when Feixiao casts ultimate. We can equate this 54% defense neglect with a 40% increase in ultimate damage, which means she got a very significant increase. Is this Lightcon worth it? Of course it is. Actually, you can use another pretty good Lightcon option that you can get through the HERTA shop, namely cruising in the Stellar Sea. But her signature Lightcon offers better things than that Lightcon. If we refer to the data, Feixiao's signature Lightcon has a 20% better improvement when compared to cruising in the Stellar Sea. Interesting, isn't it? In this video, we are going to talk about Jade. Jade is a senior manager in the IPC Strategic Investment Department and one of the 10 Storm Hearts. She's a quantum type character like the HERTA, and she follows the erudition path. Right now, Jade's speech is used less often in some content, like endgame modes like Emosi and Apocalyptic Shadow. This is because Jade is a character with a sub-DPS role, meaning she works best with characters that have other DPS roles. However, other players tend to prefer characters that are better in general situations, like Robin or Sunday. As a result, Jade is even less likely to be used. One of Jade's main abilities that we should mention here is her ability to provide debt collector status through her skills. Her skill is able to provide an additional 30 points of speed. And when the character who receives the debt collector buff attacks, it will produce an additional quantum damage equivalent to 25% of Jade's attack to characters who received the damage. Of course, the addition of this buff is really interesting, but on the other hand, since this buff only buffs one character, this is also one of its weaknesses. One of her highlighted kits lies in the talent named Fang of Flare Flaying. After an ally who has the debt collector buff attacks, Jade will get one charge for each enemy attacked. When the charge touched a charge, Jade will issue a follow-up attack that will attack the enemy with quantum damage equal to 120% of Jade's attack. This kit allows Jade to help deal damage consistently every time the main DPS in the team attacks the enemy. Moreover, if the debt collector buff is given to an ally who can attack all enemies, then the number of charges Jade gets will certainly increase. Is Jade worth taking in patch 3.0? Honestly, according to me personally, before patch 3.0, Jade seemed to lack spatial synergy among several other characters that have been released. That's because even though Jade has a pretty good kit, she is not special enough to be taken and dedicated to a particular character. Well, since the appearance of the HERTA, which will be released in the upcoming patch, makes this character an interesting choice to think about, because the combination between the HERTA and Jade will produce a very interesting combination. Actually, this character looks more optimal if you don't have another erudition character to pair with the HERTA. Then what about her signature Lightcon named Yet Hope is Priceless? Her signature Lightcon certainly has an effect that can synergize with Jade's kit because it can increase the critical rate and can provide additional damage through her follow-up attack. However, the margin she gets through this signature Lightcon is not as large as other characters who use their signature Lightcon. You can use the Lightcon named Today is Another Peaceful Day as an option if you don't want to take the signature Lightcon. The next character that will get a rerun in the next patch is Boothill. Boothill is a character who has a physical type with a hunt path. Well, similar to Feixiao, Boothill is a character with a specialization in defeating single enemies or enemies that are not many in number. One of the advantages of Boothill compared to some other hunt characters is that Boothill is a character who belongs to the break team, but is a single target type. So he will be very suitable when paired with other break units, such as Mei, Lingsha, Harmony Trailblazer, and of course Fuke. One of his highlighted kits lies in his enhanced basic attack and also talents named Fanning the Hammer and 5 Ps in a pot. When Boothill has a special stack called Pocket Trick Shot, each of these Pocket Trick Shots will increase the toughness reduction of the enhanced basic attack by 50%, which can be stacked 3 times. Now, when the enemy experiences weakness broken when Boothill attacks using enhanced basic attack, the enemy will get additional damage according to the number of Pocket Trick Shot he has. Besides having the kit, his ultimate, named Dust Devil's Sunset Rodeo, is also a must to discuss. This ultimate is one of Boothill's best kits because one thing: he can implant weakness to the enemy when launching this attack. This makes Boothill can be used against any enemies as long as this implant weakness continues to be active. Indeed, until now, Boothill is a character that is little less popular among players. We can see in the existing data, as many as less than 5% of players in this game use Boothill as a key character to complete endgame content, such as MOC, Pure Fiction, and also Apocalyptic Shadow. Indeed, while Boothill is a less popular character, it is pretty good character. He can be used in a variety of content because he has an implant weakness mechanic, and his single target attacks have very good damage output. So is he worth taking in the upcoming patch? Well, if you have units that can support his kit, he is very worth taking. Moreover, if you lack units that have a physical type, Boothill can be a character that can complete your roster. How about his signature light cone? His signature light cone, named Sailing Towards a Second Life, actually has a good effect. Can increase the user's break effect. Besides that, when producing break damage, it will ignore the enemy's defense. This light cone can also increase the user's speed if the user's break effect exceeds 150%. Is this light cone worth taking? I personally think this light cone is very good for Boothill and very worth taking, considering that other options besides this light cone have ineffective effect because Boothill has a very special kit at this time. The 7th character we will discuss in this video is none other than Robin. Robin is one of the best support characters to date. She can almost be used on all teams because the buff she gives is quite universal, which is the addition of flat attack to the entire team. One of her best abilities lies in her ultimate named Fox Harmonic Opus Cosmic, which can give an advanced action to the entire team to immediately gain a turn, increase attack to all allies, and will deal additional damage to the enemy every time allies on the team attack the enemy. The interesting thing about this ultimate is that the more often the allies on the team attack the enemy, the greater the total damage output produced by the Robin will be, making this ultimate ideal for follow-up attack type characters. In addition to the interesting buffs that come from the ultimate, Robin also has many important buffs that can be utilized by many characters out there, such as additional 50% damage from skills, an additional 20% critical damage from her talent, an additional 25% critical damage when doing follow-up attacks, and many more. Until now, Robin is one of the most important supports that is very often used by the majority of players on Honkai Star Rail. According to available data, almost 50% of players will use Robin in all current endgame modes, namely MOC, Pure Fiction, and also Apocalyptic Shadow. If you are still asking if this character is worth picking up, well, the answer is obvious. Apart from Lingsha, this character is also a top priority in the next banner if you don't currently have one. With Robin in your team, it will certainly be able to boost damage output massively thanks to the variety of buffs she can provide. In addition, her signature light cone named Flowing Night Cloak is also highly recommended to be taken. Why? This signature light cone has an effect that is too bad to miss. This signature light cone offers additional energy regeneration, additional attack when issuing the ultimate, and can provide increased damage produced to the entire team. Very interesting, right? And finally, we come to the last character in this video, which is Silver Wolf. Honestly, Silver Wolf is not a bad character. Even in version 1.x, this character is labeled as a character that is quite crucial to get thanks to her ability to instill weakness to enemies of any type. In addition, she also has some pretty good debuffs to apply to enemies, such as reducing defense through the ultimate, and also reducing attack, defense, and also speed when the enemy experiences a weakness break. Indeed, as a debuffer character, this character has a kit that is not too bad. However, currently the Silver Wolf's performance in this game is increasingly being eroded by the presence of several new characters who can implant weakness to the enemy without any help from Silver Wolf. We call it like Boothill and Firefly. Apart from characters that can implant weakness to the enemy, the Silver Wolf's position is also threatened thanks to the massiveness of characters that can reduce toughness regardless of type, such as Feixiao, HERTA, Fuke, and others. So currently, the use of Silver Wolf in battle continues to fall. Is she worth getting in the next patch? I have to admit, if we compare it with all the banners released in version 3.0, Silver Wolf is a character that has a very low value. Characters with Quantum type are currently less shining due to the absence of key characters that can unite all existing characters, unlike the characters included in the Super Break team, which are dominated by characters with Fire type. Okay, before closing this video, here I will also attach the score of all banners in the upcoming patch based on the explanation I conveyed earlier. Keep in mind, the score that I included in this video is my personal assessment based on the value of the character, starting from the character's kit, synchronization with existing characters, requirements, and various others. The score in this video can be used as a reference to pick up characters that will appear in the upcoming patch, but it's not a fixed reference. It all comes down to your opinions and preferences. Okay guys, I think that's all for this video. Which one do you pick in the next version? Please let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.